Manchester City hit 7 past Leeds United. I watched it. Did you see it, Simon?
I did not.
Oh, no, sorry. You were out in the afternoon, weren't you?
I was.
A very fashionable restaurant.
Yes.
With some of your celebrity pals. Might get into that in a little while, Trevor. I watched it. Honestly, Trevor, your beloved City, it was 7. It could have been more. But the mystique of Marcelo Bielsa, Trev, it's worn off, hasn't it?
Yeah, maybe. You can say that. I still think he's a top manager. I think they've obviously struggled massively with injuries this season. Possibly a lack of investment in the summer. But when you start thinking about your top goal scorer and probably one of the top assisters last season, Patrick Bamford, has hardly featured, Liam Cooper, Koch, Calvin Phillips, Rodrigo, Struijk, they've had all them are first team starters. Take them out of the squad, and I think if you took 5 or 6 players out of any squad, probably the top 3 or 4, you're going to be in trouble and you're going to struggle to get results. And I think that's what's happening with Leeds United at the moment.
They're struggling, all right.
But they are struggling.
3 wins in 17.
Yeah, it's not good enough. And listen, one of the things, I followed it on social media last night, and it wasn't so much how brilliant Manchester City were, because Manchester City can play that against anyone.
Yeah.
But it's the horrible stuff. The energy, they're going out there sacrificing, suffering to just stay in the game, and I think that's what Bielsa was disappointed with. And I think afterwards, when he was doing his post-match interview, that was the most disappointing thing, that they didn't compete on a basic level. It doesn't matter what level of football you're talking, from grassroots all the way up. If you're not going to have the same energy and enthusiasm and desire to try and compete, when you play against a top team like Manchester City, they can do that to you, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, I mean, Simon, I don't know where your mind is regards Leeds United, but certainly they're going very much in the wrong direction.
Currently.
I'm not entirely sure they're going to go down.
No, I don't think they'll go down.
But I don't think they'll be far off.
I mean, you talk about lack of investment, 55 million quid. Post-COVID is not necessarily a poor return. You'd expect perhaps a little bit more given the nature of the wealth, the potential investment that's gone into Leeds United from ownership models that are slightly changing, and the size of the football club. So 55 million is respectable. I think they've lost a lot of players. If you look at the game, I don't think anyone could say that they weren't compelling against Chelsea. They were in that game, on that game, and across that game.
Yeah.
And Leeds are very brave. They play a certain way and they won't compromise the way they want to play. And every now and again, you're going to come up against an immovable object meets an irresistible force. And that irresistible force is Manchester City right now.
Yeah.
And Man City could do that to a lot of sides. And I think if you look over the length and breadth of the season, I don't have any fear for Leeds United. The problem is the narrative was written that this was an upward trajectory. Everybody didn't expect there to be a second season blip or a challenge. Everyone thought Leeds United are an irrepressible force, and here they come in the second season and they'll just continue to develop. And it might just be a touch of reality, because the one thing that Bielsa does bring to the Premier League is a brand of football that everybody likes to watch. Everybody likes to see Leeds United in the game, because very rarely is it dull. The loss of Bamford, the loss of Phillips, a lot of other players during the course of the season,
Phillips was key,
have made a massive impression upon Leeds, yet they won't compromise. They want to play the way they want to play. So I think last night is a horror story for them. But I think it's a moment in time. It's a moment in time. It's no more of a horror story than other teams that have got beaten really badly in games and bounced back from the rest of the season. I don't see Leeds troubling the relegation spots.
No, I don't. And I think it's not a coincidence that the game against Chelsea, where they put so much into that game and narrowly got defeated, this game comes straight after that, because you've not got the squad depth, you can't rotate, you're asking the same players to dig deep and go again. And
you're being asked questions by the 2 best teams in the country, or 2 of the 3 best teams in this country.
Simon's right. They were irresistible, Manchester City. Having said that, Trevor, they're sitting there this morning, Leeds United, on 16 points. Now, Burnley third from footer in 11, but Burnley have got a couple of games in hand. On Leeds. They're going to have to watch. Of that, there's no doubt. I mean, it would be very disappointing, I would think, if Leeds United were to go down.
I think it would be for the Premier League as well.
Genuine entertainers.
They're not
absolutely. Listen, I can't see it, but they need to get players back. Patrick Bamford got injured with one of the goals that he scored in a couple of weeks ago. He can't be doing that again. He needs to get fit, and because when you've got someone like him with the quality, we know where he developed as a footballer. Chelsea, he is an elite footballer, and he's proved that last season to me. You know, the goals that he scored, how unselfish he is for the team, how much he'll work. But you need a player like that in the team, because they don't go on trees.
Look at Palace, right? People are saying, Palace are doing well. Palace are doing really well. I like the shape of Palace, but they're 3 points in front of Leeds. You know, so the narrative is, it depends how you want it. I know it's one game more.
Yeah, but it's just off the bad.
But the context of it,
terrible result.
Sure, it's a terrible result. But I think people are talking about Leeds prior to getting tanked by Man City. That hang on, what's happening to Leeds this season? And I don't fear for them in any shape or form. I'm to some extent, I'm quite pleased, because I think this bowing at the temple of Bielsa was getting a little bit too much saccharine for me. And I think that ultimately everyone finds their level. You know, the reasons why he's managed at certain levels besides the Argentinian side is because he operates at a certain level. We all know he's a brilliant coach.
Yeah.
But he isn't the second coming. He isn't, Guardiola. He isn't Klopp. He's a really, really inspirational, forward-thinking coach.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that Leeds United are going to get relegated. I believe that they'll go through this season and they'll probably finish mid-table.
Interestingly, they got Arsenal on Saturday at Elland Road. Now,
I think that'll be competitive.
It'll be competitive,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially after that result.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.